We're going to move on to Ted Lasso now. And I don't know how popular Ted Lasso is. If everyone's listening, I don't know if much people. I think it's fairly popular now.
It has to be. I mean, it's gotten the Premier League sponsorship rights in terms of wearing the same kit and stuff. It's won numerous Emmys.
Oh yeah,
well.
absolutely.
So it's definitely making waves. I just don't know if people are actually tuning in.
I know it's Apple's biggest property, which they're paying like Jason Sudeikis like $1 million per episode now. But yeah, no, the episode 1 dropped for season 3. It's been about a year and a half wait.
Yeah,
it's been a long time. I remember starting it in lockdown in New Zealand here, and it was just the boost of like positivity and a wholesome thing that I needed at that time, because we get a lot of good content now, but it's usually like kind of like dark and like quite impactful emotionally. This is just kind of something different, changing up the spices. And I spread it to everyone I knew, and they really caught fire. Yeah, which is how you came along to it.
Roy Kent.
Huh?
Roy Kent, my spirit animal.
You're Nate the Great.
I'm not Nate.
Nate the Great.
No, that guy's a cunt.
You're season 3, Nate.
I am no. Okay, sure. All right, I'm leaving movie games now to go to a competitor.
I won't name any competitors. No, yeah. Okay, so episode 1 dropped. You've seen it, I presume?
No.
Have you not seen it?
No, I have.
No, you have?
Yeah.
All right, so it was a good, juicy length. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was fine in terms of like a first episode. It somewhat planted the seeds of where we're going to see this season pretty much go towards.
Yeah.
It was very Ted Lasso-y, so to speak. You know, like it didn't deviate from the formula or whatnot. It was just a standard episode of Ted Lasso. So they stuck to the formula and it works. It worked here. They did tease somewhat of Ted like embracing his more darker side throughout this episode, and I wish he did in that press conference scene. If anyone that has watched this episode, they'll know what I'm talking about. But I sort of wish he just embraced that side and like was more uncharacteristic from himself. That would have just like freshened up his character. And
I feel like that changes, or like that's not what the show's about.
It's not, but it's definitely a surprise. Like it'll be like oh shit, this wholesome character that always has the shit together somewhat like in the public eye is just suddenly snapping like
yeah.
You know? But I enjoyed it. It was fine. As a first episode in a season can be, you know, it's always about that setup, and then the episodes following on that's when we get into the more juicy, meatier side of things.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like I'm with you that I wanted to see Ted Lasso snap at that point in the show, because it felt justified. But I do think him not doing that is, you know, it's a reflection of what the show's all about.
Yeah,
it's you know, it's teaching us to be better people and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the whole purpose of the show. It's about, you know, just good people doing, you know, good things for others and stuff like that. And so if you saw Ted Lasso snap, it's kind of like it goes against what the entire show is about.
Yeah.
So it sticks to its roots, I guess, and that's all well and good. I do hope we get a movie, or not a movie, like a moment where he does snap. I hope this builds up, because, you know, at some point, like with Ted Lasso and what's Nate the Great's doing, at some point that has to get to a person. Like that's like deep betrayal.
I feel if he's going to snap to anyone, it'll either be Coach or I forgot her character's name, the owner of Richmond.
Yeah. I would rather just see him snap at Nate straight to his face.
That'd be good.
Yeah, because they'll like kind of freak Nate out. But we got a lot more of Nate the Great than I thought we would.
We did.
Yeah. What do you think about him and how this series or like this season's going to treat his turn to the dark side?
Well, we can see he's a lot more of a cunt.
That's a way to put it.
That's for sure. Like his ego has got the bit better of him.
Yeah,
for sure. But he's still that little pussy inside, like that press conference. He's gonna ask these questions, and he just went back into like his shell, and he had to like go under the desk to do his whole spit thing before he came out all confident.
Yeah,
he so that's a flaw in him as this eager like person that's is it egotistical? Is that the word? Yeah.
Yeah.
Self, like he still has that soft spot, like where he just can't deal with stuff until he has that spit in the mirror sort of moment.
Yeah.
But I think with him being next to Rupert or under Rupert's wing, I think we're gonna see him break away from that mold and just become a lot more confident, cocky, arrogant, everything that pretty much people hate. That makes you want to boo him. You know? So we'll definitely see that a lot more. And then the fact that he went from Richmond to West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham.
As well. So when that eventful match happens, it's going to be one for the ages. And cool. I really hope it's not like with most of these soccer scenes throughout the show, it's like 5 minutes of soccer or football, and then it just cuts to the story. I really hope, I feel this whole show is building up to that moment.
Yeah.
Somewhat, like West Ham versus Richmond. So I feel at least half the episode should just be based on that game.
Yeah, I felt like season 2 wasn't enough football in it.
Yeah.
You kind of forgot that it was a show based on a football team and a coach and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I hope that we get back to that. And I think episode 1 kind of showed us that in a way, that it is going to be a little bit more about the football and the building up to West Ham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of Nate the Great's turn, I think you covered it pretty well. He's clearly still that guy deep down. Yeah. He just needs to go through his
process.
Process to he's just being someone that he's not, and he's just dealing with that.
And he doesn't quite believe in that as well.
Yeah. I think he's just really trying to do it for his parents, as you see their texting conversation and stuff like that. So, and now he's got a nice Aston Martin car.
Oh, so jealous.
Yeah.
He went from a shitty Mini to an Aston Martin in the space of a day.
Yeah, good old Rupert, eh?
Wish I had a boss like that. Hey, boss, can you buy me a Lamborghini? Yeah, sure thing, no problem.
Just write it off the first day.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but no, I mean, they've said that, and they've doubled down on this, that season 3 is the last season.
Yeah, which is a shame.
They keep sticking to it. They keep saying, "Oh, we've written it this way," and la-di-da, and that's all well and good. I like a complete, full vision. Apple is going to be fighting tooth and nail to get them to come back for season 4 because it's their biggest property.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I felt like we were getting a tease of the final, or the end of Ted Lasso here.
Yeah.
Just complications with his son and proposing questions of why are we here in London and stuff. Yeah. It's it feels like
that isn't that walk with coach.
Pardon? Yeah. He's gonna want to head back by the season end. But then I wonder they have to win the Premier League at some point. From that last scene in season 1 where it's we're gonna win the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that has to come to a completion.
Or even if not winning, just being in that final.
Yeah, and beating West Ham in the final. Oh, that would be good. But just beating West Ham, I guess. But it's going to be very interesting. If they've written it like the final one, it seems like they got a lot of ground to cover to get there, based on the football team and all the characters. And then you got everything with Roy Kent and what's her name?
Keeley.
Pardon?
Keeley,
yeah. And just that I felt like that was random, and that was kind of out of the blue.
It was, but it was addressed by the niece.
They talked about it, but I thought they were very strong at the end of the last season, and then just now, and you got Jamie coming in. It might be like a love triangle situation. I don't know how that's going to play out or why it's even happening, but I guess we'll see. Yeah. But we're all happy that Ted Lasso is back, I'm sure.
We are.
Yeah.